When you think about the different axes, right? They've got to want to go to the same place at the same calendar dates with the same style of accommodation and the same budget and things like that. The chance of you making matches, forget about one match, like putting together a group based on shared needs is infinitesimally small. How do you, is that a go-to-market thing? Is that, like, how do you imagine that working? Because I can't. All right, I'm here with Jason Woolf. He's got a brand new startup, barely started, but I'm eager to hear his pitch. Jason, go ahead, give me your 30-second pitch.
Absolutely, Brian. Mobilize is a social network for connected group travel around one's interests, where booking travel and finding travel companions is made stupidly simple through APIs with all the popular online tour operators and highly personalized algorithmic matchmaking between companions.
Okay. Well, congratulations. That was 30 seconds or under, roughly, which is a big check mark because very often people go on, and even after all that, I have no idea what they do. Pretty sure I know what you do, but let me ask a few follow-up questions to see how you handle them. So I, and probably a lot of other investors in this space, have seen this 100 times. And I've never made an investment in this space because I actually think it's a terrible business. So who else has tried to do this? Has it ever worked? What makes you think that this is going to work?
Yeah. Well, firstly, I'll just tell a story, which is my own, working in the travel and hospitality space. I actually have quite a unique story around having lived in some of the poorest communities. We're talking about the townships on the outskirts of the city of Cape Town. And I actually created a tour operator that served as a bridge into the community to meet its most inspiring entrepreneurs,
that sounds cool.
Creatives. Yeah. So basically, some of the groups that really had the best experience were ones that were super passionate about the space and really wanting to increase their knowledge. Their knowledge. About economic inclusion, finance.
So what does this have to do with the business?
So
that's a great story.
Yeah, absolutely.
And always great if you have a personal connection or inspiration. Like almost lead with that.
Right.
So that's great. But tell me what it has to do with the business.
Sure. So tying back. Imagine that now a trip could be listed around, we're going to do financial empowerment in low-income communities trip.
Okay, so why is that not just like a trip listing site? You filters and you search, I'm interested in economic empowerment in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, so I think that there's a couple problems with this kind of top-down approach to just creating a product that hopefully people sign up to randomly, and then you get who you get in the tour group. I think being able to actually know before the time who's signing up and opting in or opting out is a value add that allows you to have that assurance that if I'm going to be spending this time with new people, that I can trust that it's
basically a marketplace, right?
Yes.
So you've got a desire, you're looking for other people to complement that desire, and if you make a match, that's great. They go on travel, you make some money somehow, right? Yep. Okay. So marketplaces typically start with the empty room problem.
Yes.
Right? Because when you think about the possibilities, so let's say whatever, you need tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people. When you think about the different axes, right? They've got to want to go to the same place at the same calendar dates with the same style of accommodation and the same budget and things like that. The chance of you making matches, forget about one match, like putting together a group based on shared needs is infinitesimally small.
Yeah.
How do you, is that a go-to-market thing? Is that, like, how do you imagine that working? Because I can't.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think my intuition is that it's product-led growth. Okay. And what I said at the beginning is like making travel stupidly simple and hyper-personalized. Okay. So I think that the entrance point for a lot of users is going to be the functionality of the app. So let's say you and your friends really want to take a trip together, but now it's a pain to split the cost and to collect deposits.
Yeah, but that's like a functional workflow. Like it's a process platform. It's not a matchmaking. It's like bring your own group, and we have a platform to help you organize your travel, which is very different from you want to take a trip, we're going to help you find people to do it, and plan the trip with you?
So I don't see them as mutually exclusive as you do. I see a trip being able to be listed either privately or publicly,
Okay.
and that you get these suite of tools when you enter our ecosystem.
Okay.
You know, as I said, for almost like a built-in splitwise kind of functionality where you can collect deposits and the like. So I think some people might find themselves on the platform even just for their private travel purposes, but then find over time that they're also being suggested for additional you know, well-suited parties to potentially team up with them and actually drive the cost down of travel because you're splitting your villa or your transportation across more people.
Right. Okay, I have two final questions.
Yeah.
Number one, what evidence do you actually have that people want to do this? Because like you and asking your friends is a terribly unreliable way to know. Doesn't matter what I think, doesn't matter what they think, it only matters what people do. How are you going to find out if people are really going to use this?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I haven't validated this idea or even which particular pain point is really the largest or represents the largest TAM
That
in
was
and
going
of
to be my
itself.
next question, but we'll dig into that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that creating a mailing list that allows people to demonstrate that they're interested by even taking that action of entering an
So
email.
you spin up some cheap Facebook ads, you drive people to a landing page that doesn't have a product, just an email waitlist
Gives
thing.
them the concept.
Right,
yeah.
and then you can email them after the fact and say, what intrigued you about this, and so forth. Okay, final question for you is you got to know what you're solving for, because you don't want to be a hammer in search of a nail.
Sure.
Right, you got to be solving a problem.
Yeah.
Are you solving price, companionship, logistics? Like, what's your hypothesis? You've been great in saying you don't really know, but what is your hypothesis of what's going to drive this? And you can't say all three.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like you try to do too many things at once, you do nothing.
That's true. My hunch, if I had to have a gun to my head, it would probably be the price. I mean, just working with human incentives and being able to demonstrate to people that when they team up, the cost of their travel goes down. I think that there's a number of people that don't travel due to price constraints and would highly appreciate the opportunity to travel if they could afford it.
Okay, I do have one more question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, if I've said no to this 100 times and you show up, like, give me your closing argument. Like, why should I change my mind?
I think that we're in a pivotal moment where AI is changing the game and changing the way that travel can be personalized and can be simplified. And I think that this is, quite a lot of white space, quite blue waters.
Right.
And so I think that if we can be aggressive enough about being the one-stop shop to solve several pain points, that it could be different entrance points for different people, but I think that there's potential to have a unicorn there that that potentially captures a huge.
Boys got a dream.
Got a dream.
Okay. Well, any takeaways from this? Yeah, by the way, very brave guy here. Idea sounds like it's a few weeks, maybe months.
Yeah,
old,
few weeks.
But this is the way to do it. You got to pressure test it. You got to talk to a guy who's going to be skeptical and push you on things, and it gives you something to think about. So, what has this left you to think about?
Yeah, I think, I'll probably look back on this video in hindsight once I've identified really who is my target market and what is their pain point, and laughed at the last answer, right? Because it'll probably be simpler than a one-stop shop. So really trying to identify who is that target market and what is their pain point is really a starting point. And
I'll stop you there.
Yeah, okay.
If you could do just one thing in the next 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Brian.
Good job.
Fun.